This week on Biz Podcast, we're spotlighting the next generation of entrepreneurs with two incredible young business leaders making major moves in Central Florida. Michael Nielson with Nielson Cleaning and Painting, and Ben Swanson, partner at Precision Auto Wraps. Listen up, because you won't want to miss this one.
Lady bosses, are you working even after putting the kids to bed but still not getting results?
Are you tired of spending money on ads that aren't getting engagement?
Do you feel burdened that you aren't fulfilling your purpose in life because you are so consumed with work?
I'm your host, Brooke Bolts. I'm an attorney and founder of Bolts Legal. I started my business and in 1 year was bringing in 7 figures and am now bringing in multi-7 figures.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Bolts, owner of Bolts Media. I've helped many businesses build their online presence and increase their revenue through digital marketing.
Want to hear how we did it?
We are here to help you achieve your goals personally, professionally, and spiritually.
So kick off your high heels, sit back, and let's ignite that passion.
We're Miss Biz, where we're putting the Miss in biz.
Let's get biz done.
We are so excited to have Ben Swanson here today. He is the co-owner of Precision Auto Wraps, and at just 26 years old, he's already accomplished so much. So we're so excited today to learn a little bit more about him, hear his story, and see how he can inspire all of you today. So, Ben, you're 26 years old, you're the co-owner of a scaling business, active in AI, a competitive ultimate frisbee player, and a deacon at your church. Do you ever sleep?
It's funny you say that, because as we were talking a little bit about the podcast, I was sick, and it was probably because of lack of sleep.
Yeah.
So call me out, it's fair. I do need to sleep more. But I don't know, it takes a lot to try to get things done, so yeah. I try.
It's all about balance in life, right?
Yes, it's a struggle.
So what was your childhood like growing up? Were you always more creative? Were you always like an entrepreneur at heart?
I think yes, from the start. Like, I always wanted to do things. I always wanted to be creative. I was drawing all the time. I think I wasted a lot of trees growing up, but my parents encouraged it. We did art lessons growing up, and they were entrepreneurial. Like, my mom was always finding herself. She homeschooled us. That's entrepreneurial in itself.
Yeah.
But she was also leading consignment sales. My dad got into websites, and he does SEO and entrepreneuring himself, got his own business. So I was always kind of around that. And then I just got into his millionaire books, and I was just eating them up. I knew half the words at 11, but I was like, this is cool. I want to do this someday.
Which of those books do you recommend?
Man, there's so many. But some of the top ones, like, depending on what avenue you want to do, I think the best one to start out with is learning how to learn people, because sales is a great gateway. So how to win friends and influence people, I think is amazing. That was a good one. Yeah.
Very good.
So do you think that growing up in today's generation creates more pressure to figure out life faster? And how did you personally navigate that pressure?
Yeah, I definitely think it does. With the growing mass use of AI, with the effects of private equity and how that affects like the smaller entrepreneurs, I think it makes a big gap for the people that want to get in. There's a lot more tools that are accessible now, so it's easy to get in, but it is harder to you have to work really hard at the basic skills to be able to get to a point of where the ball's rolling and you have a consistent business with good people, employees, and systems in place. I think it's manageable. It just takes a lot of work.
So how did you get into this business?
That's a good question. It's not a flashy start. I got out of college and I really wanted to do something with my graphic design degree. And so I was ready to go. I tried multiple different agencies and I put out my resume. And as a business owner now, it makes sense. But at the time I was like, why is nobody hiring me? I didn't have any experience. I had one internship, but everybody wants experience. They want somebody that knows what they're doing, can show it, and other people have trusted them and they've done something with it. And so it's hard to get in, but I was consistent at food service, which is what I knew. I paid through college for that. And then I was working Chipotle, and my future business partner came through the line, and we got to talking. And I was like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I do vehicle wraps. I was like, oh, I'm a graphic designer. He's like, oh, I'm looking for a graphic designer. So long story short, I come out the next day. He interviews me. I'm like, this is the best job ever. I would love this. And then I did a project. I pulled an all-nighter. I was going to make this project the most amazing project ever. And then I get the email. I open it up, and he's like, I'm so glad for the opportunity, but I went with somebody else. I was like, what? Not what I wanted to hear. But thankfully, like, I was working freelance at the time. I worked with a pastor on a website, and they meet up, and we re-meet over this project I'm working on. And then 3 days later, I get a call, and Andy, my business partner, is like, hey, I know you were interested in getting a job. The guy I hired found a higher paying position. Are you still interested? And I was like, I might be.
Nice.
And that's how I got into it.
Wow. So the moral of the story is have conversation in the Chipotle.
That's
line.
Right.
It matters what you order and who you order it from.
That's funny.
It just goes to show you how determination alone in itself can completely change like the trajectory of your life, because had you not been determined to get that role again, I mean, who knows? I mean, you wouldn't be here in this particular situation today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even just the determination of, as a young teenager, reading those type of books.
Right.
I have 2 teenagers, and that's probably the last thing they'd be interested in doing is reading all my entrepreneurial books. So that alone talks to your entrepreneurial spirit.
So you've been to college, but in terms of today, do you think that college is necessary for entrepreneurs, or do you think experience matters more?
Experience is vital, but there's ways you can do that in college with internships and working with somebody on the side, and working on projects. A lot of times in school, they'll give you different scenarios where you can test projects, and getting feedback from a teacher is good. So it depends on what avenue somebody wants to get into. But if it's in the art field or something like that, I think you can learn a lot online now. It depends on, you can get, I was thinking this too, if you go to college, you get the social atmosphere, you can learn to work with people with different personalities, and it's a step into the real world where networking helps, and engaging with people, engaging with peers, engaging with teachers, people that you respect and you want to work for them, or you want to show your prowess in a humble way, and like maybe something could come from that. So I would say, I think college can make sense. Got to figure out where you want to go and make sure that the college fits what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So going back to your story, you were hired initially as an employee and have now grown into co-ownership of the business. I think that's important for listeners, because sometimes you don't have to just go start something from scratch on your own. You can start as an employee, you can work your way up, and then become an owner. So tell us kind of how that journey was for you.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. And when you get out of college, you feel like you know a lot, but the real world is totally different. And so working for somebody else can be profitable. So I was working part-time, and I was just doing hourly. I even held Chipotle at the same time. I would work part-time at both. And then eventually Andy, my business partner, was like, hey, you've been working a lot, and my goals have been, and one of the reasons why I love working so hard is I want to have a family one day, and that can be expensive, and so I want to provide well. So I would keep like hinting at Andy, like, we're growing and I'm putting a lot of effort in. I would do projects for people, but get this, we had emails, and that's how we intaked customers. And then we had social media. We didn't even have a website. So that's how we were growing. And I was suggesting, we need a website, here's some different platforms we can be on, so we're not just on Facebook and Instagram. And then I built a system, a CRM, and a project management system to intake customers. So I wasn't getting stressed with all the people. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, you're doing a lot, so why don't we take you to full-time with BNI and networking, and that'll kind of pay for your salary. I was like, okay. And so that was a whole realm, as you guys know. And so I worked there for a little bit, and then we grew and grew and grew. And it was getting scary for Andy, and he was being honest, like, this is a place where I've never been. We're growing to a capacity where I feel nervous. I don't know if something was to go wrong. Like, systems, and I knew Andy knew how to work with people in the day-to-day. He's got the analytical skills, and the collaboration was working well. And he suggested, well, what do you think about a partnership? And I was like, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so we worked through all that, all the legal stuff, and here we are. And
That's awesome.
We grew almost tripled between 2024 and 2025.
I think it's incredible that at such a young age, you were just in there working and recognized some gaps and limitations that you guys had, and just proactively created the procedures or implemented the technology that was missing to keep you effective. I mean, I imagine from the perspective of a boss or a business owner, seeing that from your employee at, how old were you? Like 25.
Yeah.
Seeing a 25-year-old come in and do that, that would impress me.
Oh, for sure. To have those kind of skills. I mean, he hired you as a designer.
Yep.
And probably didn't realize how much more was coming with it. How did you even learn how to do that? How to build a program? You certainly probably didn't learn that in design school, did you?
No. Yeah, we did some CSS and HTML, but yeah, a lot of YouTube videos, and I don't know, like, just the pressure of, like, I don't want to get an email from somebody saying, hey, where's my project? Like, I haven't gotten it, and I'm like, I'm working on 10 other ones. I didn't remember yours. Just like, yeah, the necessity of having something like that pushed me. Like, I can either work in the hours I'm given, and I just kind of like, all right, there's a necessity in this business, and even if I don't see myself getting compensated for it, what are the benefits of adding value, not just for the business, but if I do this and I understand how to do it, I could add it to any business. I could go and flip this into a trade or something and build more value for them. So I was like, got nothing to lose. This would be so
you
good.
taught yourself how to create the CRM from YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's impressive. For someone to have that kind of just motivation to go after hours in addition to all your other responsibilities to do something that makes the business better, but makes your job easier, but isn't even in your wheelhouse, something you have to learn from scratch. That is really impressive.
Thank you.
Really is.
Really rare.
So what would you say is one thing that entrepreneurs must learn if they want to stay relevant over the next 5 years?
I mean, everybody's going to say AI. Like, that's just top of mind right now. I would actually say AI is a great tool, but sales and people skills, because the pendulum swing is everybody goes into AI and automation and done for you. and there's going to be an absence of people and relationships.
Right.
So I think the place to be is honing in on being able to communicate, being able to negotiate and work with people. I think that's priceless. As a person, you're going to become more valuable. You cannot go wrong with people skills.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Finding guests for a podcast can be difficult sometimes, so Brooke and I wanted to let you guys know that we are available to appear on your podcast.
We also enjoy speaking at events. So if you have an event coming up, these jingles can go on the road.
Simply go to missbiz.com/contact and in the subject line, write podcast guest or event speaker, and we'll reach out to you to further coordinate.
We just did an episode on, it hasn't aired yet, but it's on the, what's the name of that? It was the dead internet theory, which is what you're talking about, that because things are becoming so automated and there's so much AI-driven social media posts and engagement, that people are going to swing back the other way to really to have trust. They're going to want to have that in-person connection. But I have a question for you, because you mentioned it a couple times how you had this just massive growth in your business. What do you attribute that to? What really worked for you guys in the growth of your business?
There was a few factors. Number one, we didn't have a strong brand. We had some cool script letters and we had a cross, and it communicated what we did. It was creative imaging wraps, right? And it was cool, but there was no identity. There was no like desire. There wasn't any communicated values. And so I was reading a book, and it's by Dan Anatelli. He's in New England. He does vehicle wraps and branding on a large scale for trades all over the United States. And you've probably seen some of his vans driving around. And he is big on branding and how that works for companies. And I was reading the book and I was like, this is amazing. How can we bring this into our company so that we're not lost in the sauce? Like, people can see who we are and immediately gravitate, like, okay, like I feel like I fit with their personality. Like, I want what they have. And that's where we built the brand. And so it started with a little character. We were going to go do ninja wraps, and we're like, that's a little angsty for our customers. We want to appeal to more people. So we just did like back and forth on words, and precision auto wraps felt like it really fit. And the character came out of that. It's a cool little futuristic rapper guy. And then we applied that to everything. So both our vehicles are wrapped. All our branding is consistent. And people remember that. And we just look so much bigger than we are. And that's what I tell trades. Like, if you don't have clear branding on your vehicles, you're losing out on so much money, because you got moving billboards that are a fraction of the cost for a lot longer. So why not go big on the brand? So I'd say number one is the brand, and then number two, going with and getting the website and doing actual SEO helped a lot. That makes up probably 30% of our customers, and then B&I is essential. Like, what better place to go market than where all the trades are at? So it's great. We've made great relationships with B&I Sanford, where a lot of your friends are at. And then we fit in our social media guy and other employees, and so we're marketing in different chapters, and that makes up 40%. So
wow,
fantastic.
So for anyone who's not familiar with B&I, can you just give a brief description of what it is?
Sure thing. B&I is a great networking. It is probably the best networking system, and it's made up of different chapters, so different groups in different parts of the country. And it's very specific in that in order to be a member, you have to be a different business type that there isn't in the chapter. So say there's a plumber in the chapter, you'd have to find another one. But the plumber in the chapter is getting referrals, and there's certain qualifications you need to have in order to be in it. he can get direct referrals from everybody in the group. And so the main benefit is, instead of you and going marketing, you doing the direct marketing to everybody, you have people that have incentive to market on behalf of you. And the benefit of being in it is you're vetted, so you kind of have to be trusted to join. So you show yourself faithful in that. People trust you and they send business to you. So very, very, very good thing to look into if you're not doing it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, BNI has been a game changer for our business. And, you know, it all boils down to building relationships, which is what BNI is all about and what you mentioned earlier as well. So why do you think that relationships matter so much in business?
I think it's because we're people. So everybody wants to make everything systematized when we talk about passive income, and everything's passive, but we like people. Everybody has their friends. Everybody likes to trust people. Everybody wants to be known. And so when you as a person are being the person that goes and actively tries to know somebody and understand them, people gravitate to you. They're like, he's not talking about himself. He wants to know me. I think that is essential, absolutely essential.
Yeah.
And so we've thought about, should we bring in AI into how we interact with customers? And it just hasn't made sense for where we want to go, because people come to us because we listen and we have the skills of communication to understand what their needs are and guide them to their goals. So right now, it seems like the best possible way is building with relationships.
Yeah. I mean, AI is a great tool, but
Yes.
it will never compare or replace the beauty of real relationships and how effective they really are.
Has AI affected your artwork industry though?
100%. Yeah. I think it's great. I pivoted to being a business owner because it's a great tool. Like, we can come up with renders and be like, and then use that in tangent with the skills and the principles we learned in school of, you know, what looks right, you know, what looks balanced, what colors work, and what emotions do they evoke, and use that in tangent and be like, okay, you know, here's a mock-up we worked on and we tweaked it a little bit. What do you think? And then once the customer's pleased with that, we can go and finally render it in a large format, and it's cost effective on both ends for the customer and us, time-wise.
Yeah. So, you know, your faith seems to play a huge role in your life and your business. How would you say that it has shaped the way that you lead?
Well, the number one thing I think is we got to the place we are because of the Lord and His blessing in it. I don't see myself as anything special. The Lord's been so gracious to give the skills and just the not just the blessings, but also the classrooms of failures in order to get where we're at.
That's true.
Because it sounds all amazing that we got here, but there were so many times where we hired the wrong person, and we went through the process of like, okay, how do we work with them? Are they not a good fit? And what do we do now? Like, okay, we need customers in the door, and we'd pray and the Lord would just bring in people. So at the end of the day, it's such a blessing to be able to have that relationship with the Lord, and I can't do anything beyond that. The Lord knows us so well, and to be able to glorify Him and being able to serve customers to the best of our ability, be a light, you know, tell them about Christ, and then being able to serve them, their families, vicariously through doing branding for vehicles. Mm-hmm. That's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you guys do great work. I know I've seen your work on several members in BNI, their work vans, work trucks. You can tell that the quality is really there, and that you guys really do go above and beyond to make sure that it's done right.
Oh, you're kind. Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah, of course.
So there's pros and cons, of course, to being a young entrepreneur. Have you ever struggled to be taken seriously in the business world at your young age?
I thought I would be, and I think initially, yeah. I think because, you know, there's a tendency to think, and justly so, like, what do I know? I'm 26. But I came into BNI and networking in general And business owners, probably more than most people, are critical on, do you know what you're talking about? Do you show up to work? Do you do the basic things in order to be successful? Are you honest? Are you showing up to work? Are you doing what you say you're doing? And if you are, a lot of adults find that hard. So if you're doing that, you can earn trust pretty fast. And I've seen a lot of great results. People hold you to your word rather than to your age. So not really. Not really.
What a great encouragement for others, that really what counts is not so much your age, but your how you can relate to people and how you can demonstrate your skill set.
Right.
I remember when I was a young lawyer, I struggled with this really badly because the lawyers I was up against were 20 years older than me, 20 years more experienced. And if I walked into the room, they immediately did not give me the time of day. Like, they immediately judged me as someone who did not know anything and didn't want to hear anything I had to say. And so I remember talking to my managing partner and complaining and being like, nobody is taking me seriously. And he's like, well, what do you want me to do? I was like, I need gray hair. I remember saying that. I need gray hair before anybody is going to listen to anything I have to say. And it did. It took years. Like, it took time for me to go into the courtroom time after time after time. And it kind of also became a benefit because they would underestimate my ability. And so then I would go in and I would give a great argument. I would win the hearing because they didn't prepare. They wouldn't prepare because they would think, oh, look at her, she's so young. And on the other side of things, I was over preparing because I wanted to prove my worth. And eventually, the word started to get around that I may be young, but I was still a worthy adversary, and I built a reputation for myself. But it took a long time, and sometimes it can be tough as a young person to have people take you seriously.
So how do you feel about gray hair now?
Not a fan.
No? No?
Not a fan. No.
You wish you didn't have gray hair now?
Yeah, I know.
Take it back. Take it back.
Yes.
So in terms of advice, I mean, I know 20 years ago really wasn't that long ago for you, but, what advice would you give to that 20-year-old who feels lost right now?
It'll be all right. Really seek the Lord, because He has great plans for you if you surrender your life to Him, for sure. I think especially when you're young, you're really overanalyzing things. You tend to get anxiety, like, well, what's going to happen? And at the end of the day, find something that you love and shoot for it. And you won't necessarily always get it. Like, I had to start in food service, and I was able to build skill set, working with customers, working with systems that led me to the job I'm at now. And again, I don't think I would have the job I have right now without those building blocks that came along the way. And so we don't necessarily get our dream job right off the bat. But if you're diligent and you grow your skill set along the way and look at every opportunity, every relationship as a way to build and grow, you cannot lose. You're always, you've got nothing to lose. You're always growing in every situation.
Yeah. I think everybody should take a stab at food service. And what I really wish from an employer standpoint, more people worked at Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the way those kids work?
Yeah.
It is like clockwork, man. They Chick-fil-A is a person to study. I know.
Sweating. Yeah.
I know, and they're still my pleasure, ma'am.
Yep. Getting it done.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
So, on a light note, what is one random skill that you have that people would never expect?
Besides the ultimate frisbee?
Yes.
I would say I really enjoy looking at the big picture of things, and I think that is like a quality of a lot of the millionaires, is like it's a long-term view at things. I like to see where things are going to be and then how we can kind of navigate in order to be best prepared for when that situation comes. And, you know, one of those instances was the project management system. Like, we're getting to the place where I'm not going to be able to handle it. How do we get there? And then, you know, being able to accommodate for those times. So probably foresight.
Yeah.
Do you love the Miss Biz podcast?
Because we love you.
Here's 3 things you can do to show your support.
1. Write us a review. Apple, Spotify, and Google My Business are the best platforms to write a review.
2. Follow us on social media. Our handle is at Miss Biz Podcast.
3. Join our Facebook group, Miss Biz Nation, for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage. Also, ask questions related to your business and discuss topics from our episodes.
Yeah.
What type of project management system do you use?
So I built everything in Notion. So
Okay.
It's pretty builder friendly, not too integrated. And then I had some friends build out some like custom coding for tracking things when customers get back. And so it's very integrated. It was very like small when it grew. And then as we've grown bigger and bigger, I've had to add things. I've had to like
I'm sure.
accommodate. So I could geek out on that all day.
What I'm gathering from your story is that you had the mindset of an owner before you were
Yes.
an owner.
Oh, 100%.
As an employee, you put yourself in the position of, if I was an owner, how could I improve this business? And then you went and did it and implemented it. And I think whether you are a business owner listening to this who's looking for employees, that's something to look for. People who take pride in their work as if it was their own business. And if you are an employee, then that's how you can add value to the place you are currently employed to move yourself up and potentially become an owner someday as well.
100%. Those are some of the employees we have that have been the best over time, also have the ownership mentality and are like, we can trust them with the work. It's going to get done right.
Right. It's
and
not
they're gonna own it.
that's not my job.
Yeah.
Right.
Hate to hear that. Yeah,
I don't get paid enough.
exactly.
I'm not paid to do that. That's the, opposite mentality.
Absolutely.
So a lot of young people battle with distraction. They battle with comparison and burnout. How would you say that you stay focused in a world that's constantly fighting for your attention?
That's right. I've never dealt with distraction or burnout at all as a business owner. Oh man, it is a struggle. It is a struggle. And especially in our world now, like I say, technology is an asset. It can be, a liability when it comes to, social media can be great or it can be a drawback. Everything can be good or bad depending on how you use it. So you have to get good boundaries. And you talk about good books. Boundaries is a great book. So definitely read that one. Boundaries are great as far as like, okay. And I would say this to the 20-year-old question. Learn who you are, and doing the things that you're not always good at can breed, okay, I'm not skilled at this, but great, I know that, so I can find something that I know I'm good at and implement here, and then I'll grow faster. And so in that case, like, all right, I know for me, I'm very susceptible to get locked into the whole scrolling session, doom scrolling. So when I get on social media, I download it, I do what I need to do, and then I'll delete it again because
Wow.
I got to set my boundaries. I will just get sucked in. So building boundaries is great. Just being able to be aware of where you're just lacking and being able to capitalize. All right, my time's worth more than this. Like, I need to grow. Other people are working their tails off right now. I need to be productive too.
Yeah, no, that obviously takes a lot of discipline and determination to be that regimented like that. I give you a lot of credit. That's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, the one saying is like, when you say yes to something, you're saying no to 3 other things.
Right.
And so if you see that in real life, like, in order to build this, I'm saying no to 3 other events with friends that I would love to be at. But what's the long-term aspect? Well, I'm building something so I can be more present with my kids, I'm more present with my wife, that type of stuff. So it's a long-term view on that. And burnout, how I'd handle that, it's not always successful, but being able to have boundaries when it's like, okay, in order for me to be in the best mindset, okay, maybe I just get up earlier, and then I, have my roommates keep me accountable. I'm going to bed at this time.
Right.
And usually if I do that, then I have better mindset when I get awake and I can knock out what I would have taken 3 hours on.
True.
So, yeah.
True. That's a great point. So if you were mentoring a young entrepreneur from day one today, what are the first 3 skills that you would tell them to master?
Absolutely. I would say people skills, right? Communication. And then following right along with that is sales, because you're always either, selling yourself or you're selling a product. So those are great ways of having influence as a person. And I would say, marketing is great, because how are you going to be able to sell yourself or what you have unless you know how to market and who to market to and the principles of marketing.
Yeah.
And if you have those skills, whatever field you're in, you're going to be successful.
Yeah, exactly.
I think those are great tips and great advice. Now, in terms of your future, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave through your work?
Well, so in Revelation, when the Lord comes back, it says his name is faithful and true. And so I've just locked onto those 2 words. I would love for it to be said of me that I was faithful and true. And so in whatever I say, in the principles I said, in my practice, I want people to think that is, that is based on God's word. That is true. I could do that. And I'm not worried about, stumbling or anything. That is very valuable to do. And being faithful in that, when I said to do something, I'm not getting distracted. I'm not, falling to the wayside of something that I've started, and being able to be there for my friends, as a deacon, being able to be there for the members, for the elderly, for the widows, being able to be an asset in those instances. And then, as my responsibilities change, acclimating to that, and then reprioritizing everything and, doing that 100%.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story today. I think I'm really inspired, because as someone who's been in business now for a while, seeing the excitement of a younger entrepreneur helps reinvigorate me to remember all of the reasons that I chose this path, and to just reignite that passion for what led me into my field. So in closing, what are some final remarks or final advice that you would have for both young entrepreneurs, but also those who have been in their business for a long time?
Don't forget why you started, right? Make sure you're continually looking at your goals and reorienting yourself. What are the blockages I'm facing right now, and how can I accomplish that? And we can tend to drift from our original goals, and it can be good to reprioritize and see, but a lot of times distraction can come and burnout can come, and so sometimes it's good to take a break, refocus, be able to get excited. For me, you guys are fantastic. I love hearing your guys' podcast. For me, that's invigorating, and podcasts in general. Yeah, I love Mark Cuban, so I like listening to other entrepreneurs, and for me that is just, I get to hear what other people are doing, and that gets fire under my seat. I'm like, all right, they're not sleeping, I gotta keep at it, I gotta be faithful.
Mark Cuban's not sleeping.
No, not at all. So how can our listeners connect with you, hire you, get to know you? What's the best way for them to reach you?
I don't know if they can hire me. There's a price for everything, but I might hire them. No, definitely, if you like to reach me, You reach me through Precision Auto Wraps. We're on Instagram, Facebook, all the socials, and through our website. And then my personal site, benjswanson.com. You reach me through there. I'd love to help any questions I might have as a 26-year-old. I'll do the best I can. And also, the connections I have, I might be able to connect some people. So definitely reach out.
Well, you're definitely going places, and we're excited to see what the future holds. Thank you so much, Ben.
Yeah. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Brooke.
Having a standout speaker resume is so important to booking speaking engagements. If you're looking to increase your speaking engagements, but don't know where to start with your speaker resume and you'd like to see a couple of examples, we would be happy to share ours with you.
Go to missbiz.com/contact and in the subject line type speaker resumes and we'll send you your copy today.
Michael, we're so excited to have you on the show today. You were nominated by your father to be here on our Young Entrepreneurs segment, and you have a great story, and we're just so excited to get to know you today. So first, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started working with Nielson Cleaning and Painting?
How I got started working with Nielson Cleaning and Painting is we started slowly going out together, spend some quality time together, and as I started training later on how to do the work by my father, I started getting used to the work a lot better.
That's amazing. That's amazing. They always say that the best time to get started is just to start, and then you'll improve and continuously learn.
Correct.
Michael, how old were you when you first started working with Nielson Cleaning and Painting?
18.
Okay, and how old are you now?
21.
Nice.
21. So you got a few years under your belt. Did you always know that you wanted to work alongside your father?
No.
No? What kind of helped you to see that would be a good opportunity?
What kind of helped me to see that was that I could learn other things besides the business.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. So you mentioned, what would you say is one of the most important factors to being able to do that, to being able to make that transition?
One of the most important factors to make that transition is clear customer communication, and you always want to make sure everything's done correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. Your business can't go anywhere if your customers aren't happy. I love that. How would you say that positive mindset plays a role into your daily life?
A positive mindset for me, for my daily role, is teaching other people how to run a business step by step.
Fantastic. And, it seems like you really care about communication, customer experience, and doing a good job. Where do you think that comes from?
Honestly, not only it comes from my father, but it comes from the heart.
Yeah. No, I agree.
What keeps you motivated on the hard days, especially with the type of work you do that's physically demanding or stressful?
What keeps me motivated is that doing the work one section at a time.
Yeah. I'm sure it's really satisfying to see the before and afters.
Yes.
You get, especially both painting and pressure washing, but I just think about at my house when I had you guys come over and it was super dirty, and just being able to see that transformation and knowing that you took a part in that was quite rewarding.
Thank you.
Yeah. So do you ever feel like you would be willing or wanting to take over the company one day?
Yes.
Yeah. What would that kind of look like for you?
What it would look like for me is like sitting at your office and looking through the desk all day.
Yeah. They definitely have to have time, like strategizing on the business and working on the business rather than working in the business.
Right.
What would you say to someone who felt nervous or overwhelmed starting something they've never been done before?
What I would say is like, don't do this area first until this area here is completed.
Yeah.
Very good.
I agree. It's a step-by-step process in what you do.
Correct.
You can't cut any corners, otherwise it's definitely going to show in the quality of work. So what are some things that your dad is teaching you right now in regards to leadership and running a business?
What he's teaching me right now about leadership in business is providing a good example.
That I'm so glad that you mentioned that. I think that is something that is huge, especially when you go on to leading an organization and taking over. You have to lead by example. If you're lazy, showing up late, cutting corners, your employees and your team, they're going to mimic that behavior.
And you don't want that.
No, not at all. That's a good way to destroy your business. So I love that that's top of mind and top of heart for you.
What does great customer service mean to you personally?
What great customer service means to me is making sure the communication is clear and correct. And you always want to make sure that everything's done correctly.
Yeah, 100%. So, we talked to your dad before we had you on the show, and he said that you have a heart of gold and that you take your work personally. Why do you think you care so deeply about doing the right thing for people?
Why I care so deeply about doing the right thing for people is people can be dishonest, and you always want to make sure you're always telling the truth to the customers, and you always want to make sure that if you're letting the customer know this service will be done, we'll make sure it's done correctly.
Yeah. I mean, your word is your bond, right?
Correct.
And you don't want to let people down or make people feel like they don't trust you. I really do wish more people were like you in this world, Michael. You have a beautiful heart.
For somebody listening who may feel underestimated or discouraged, what would you want them to know?
What I would want them to know is don't do everything at once. Do things one step at a time.
Yeah. That can definitely overwhelm you if you try to tackle everything at once. Mm-hmm. So, one thing that I recognize about you, Michael, is you don't let obstacles define you. So where do you think that inner strength comes from?
What that inner strength comes from me is not thinking about other things besides what you're focused on right now.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, other things can distract you, derail you, and I think focus, at least for me personally, is something I could definitely improve upon.
Correct.
So what do you think that young people your age misunderstand about hard work?
What they would misunderstand about hard work is that they think it's easy at first, and then later on they find out it's actually hard work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you work outside, right?
Yes.
In the Florida heat. How is that easy work?
No,
it's hard work in and of itself. Add the heat to it, and that multiplies it times 10.
correct.
And I imagine that most people would not want to work in those in those working conditions, wouldn't have the strength to be able to keep doing that. So you have my utmost admiration both for your business sense, your customer service skills, and the tenacity to keep showing up every day despite the harsh work environments of the Florida heat.
I mean, even take that a step further, they have to work with water in the cold too.
True.
That would make me absolutely miserable. So I give you a lot of credit for doing what you do, and I can tell every time you're on the job, at least every time I've seen you, you're working hard and you're serious about it, which is a great quality. So why do you think that showing up every day matters?
Why I think everyday show up matters is shows the business owner that you deeply care about your job.
Yes, and even your customers too.
Even the customers.
Yeah, I think people want to do business with those that they know care and genuinely have their best interests at heart.
Correct.
What does success mean to you?
What success personally means to me is achieving something that you want to make sure it's done correctly.
Yeah. Do you think that caring about people can actually make somebody better in business?
Yes.
Why do you think that?
Why I think caring about people makes them a better person is, like, you don't know what they're going through in life.
Yeah.
True. So what's something people don't see behind the scenes of running a pressure washing company?
What people don't see behind the scenes of running a pressure washing company is the equipment that breaks down that you have to fix it.
That's a great point. I'm sure that can be very, very frustrating if you're in the middle of a job and your equipment just fails. You have to stop everything and try to get it up and running so you can complete the job.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the patience for that. I'd be phoning a friend, help. So, looking back 5 years, what's one piece of advice or some wisdom that you would share with yourself?
What I would share 5 years ago from now is, if you want to run the business, you always want to make sure not only that you do everything step by step, but you always want to have a mentor that can help you.
Love that you brought that up. We've had multiple guests on our podcast before, and one of the number one things that each one of them say is how having that mentor played a huge impact in the role of their success.
Right.
Who would you say your mentor is?
I would say my mentor is John Nielson.
Your dad? Yeah. He's a pretty good mentor.
Yeah.
So, what are you most proud of?
What I'm most proud of is learning about the business right now.
You should be proud.
How do you think the business has changed you as a person?
How it changed me as a person is that how it changed me as a person is not only learn about everything correctly, but it's like you're basically running your own job.
Yeah, I'm sure it's taught you patience.
Yes.
It's taught you attention to detail. I'm sure it's taught you a lot of valuable skills.
And taught you that you're running your own job, so you're responsible
Yes.
for that final product and that customer's response and how they're going to feel about the job that you've done.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What's one message you hope listeners take away from your story today?
The one message that my listeners would take from my story today is what my one message my listeners would take from my story today is, if you want to run a business, do everything step by step, and I recommend a mentor that can help you.
I love that.
Fantastic.
Having heard your story today,
Oh, go ahead.
Having heard your story today, it definitely makes sense why you all have done such fantastic work, both for at my home and at my office. So thank you for all that you've done, doing my roof at my home and my sign at my office. They look fantastic, and I get compliments on it all the time on how nice my home and signage looks. So thank you for for your help with that.
You're welcome.
I've used them personally as well. They've pressure washed my house. They pressure washed and cleaned the roof of my aunt's house. And they painted the theater room, and they painted my kitchen cabinets, which completely changed the look of the kitchen. And they're just a great company. Their attention to detail is wonderful.
Thank you.
So how can others contact Nielson Cleaning and Nielson Painting?
If you want to contact Nielson Cleaning and Painting, call and text 386-956-3406.
All right, and you guys got a website?
Yes.
What's the website?
www.nielsencleaning.com.
Perfect.
Nielson spelled Neilson.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. Michael, thank you so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And we hope you get some business out of this for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you and are honored to be on this journey with you. We can't wait to help you, to encourage you, and show you how to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
If you found Miss Biz helpful, please leave a review and share with others.
You can follow us on social media at Miss Biz Podcast.
For legal questions or services, please visit boltslegal.com.
And for digital marketing needs, please visit boltsmedia.com. Let's get biz done.